Listen closely, and I mean really lean into the heavy, grounded, and unyielding frequency of this transmission. Because in the year 2026, the global machine has successfully turned the modern man into a ghost, a transparent, flickering, and weightless entity that occupies physical space but commands absolutely zero respect. They want you twitchy, they want you constantly shifting your weight like a nervous child, and they want you projecting a desperate, radiating need for approval that the world can smell from a mile away. They have stripped you of your physical gravity and replaced it with a digital shadow that has no substance, no impact, and no soul. But today, Andrew is swinging wide the massive, stone-hewn, and ancient doors of the 83rd vault of the Edge Archives, the Gravity Protocol. Stand firm with me, partner, because on the true frontier, the man who flinches first is the man who loses his dignity, his mission, and eventually, his life. Stand firm with me, partner, because on the true frontier, the man who flinches first is the man who loses his dignity, his mission, and eventually, his life. Analyze this psychology of the immovable object with me with a cold, surgical, and unblinking eye, because in the year 2026, the system is utterly terrified of a man who does not fidget, who does not rush his movements, and who does not seek to justify his presence through nervous, wasted energy. Think about John Wayne's stillness, how he could dominate an entire, vast landscape just by standing there, hands resting heavily on his belt, eyes fixed like flint on the horizon. He didn't need to shout to be the center of the universe. The universe simply acknowledged his mass. We are decoding the lead weight today. In the year 2026, the machine uses high-speed anxiety and the frantic hustle culture to keep you in a state of constant, jerky motion, draining your internal battery and making you look like easy prey to the predators around you. But the Duke operated on a tectonic, planetary frequency. Doctor, examine the Duke's private records on physical sovereignty. Look at how he used deliberate, slow, and heavy movements to dictate the pace of every encounter he ever had. In the year 2026, your ability to move slowly and speak with the weight of a falling mountain is a direct, frontal attack on the machine's frantic and shallow rhythm. When you stop moving like a servant who is terrified of being late for a meeting and start moving like a king who owns every square inch of the ground he walks on, the world instantly begins to recalibrate itself around your presence. The frontier was won by men who occupied their space with total, unmitigated, and terrifying authority. Never let the nervous tremors of the year 2026 touch your hands or your heart. You are the anchor in the storm, and until you realize that you are the heaviest thing in any room you enter, you will always be tossed about like a leaf by the storm of other people's opinions and expectations. In the third and most operationally devastating layer of the 83rd protocol, we address the lethal gaze. You see, in the year 2026, most men have forgotten how to look another human being in the eye without flinching, blinking, or looking down at their glowing screens in submission. They have been trained to be submissive, to avoid conflict at all costs, and to signal their harmlessness to the machine. But the sovereign man knows that the eyes are the windows to the forge where his resolve is hammered. We are decoding the unblinking eye today. In the year 2026, the system wants you to be agreeable and non-threatening. But the Duke was a predator of the spirit. When he looked at a man, that man felt the weight of his entire history, his entire character, and his entire capacity for violence if provoked. Doctor, record this for the permanent Edge Archives. A man who cannot hold eye contact is a man who cannot hold a position. In the year 2026, you must reclaim the authority of your gaze. You must be able to look through the noise, through the lies, and directly into the reality of the situation without blinking. This isn't about aggression. It's about absolute, unshakable certainty. When you possess the gravity, your eyes don't dart around looking for an exit. They stay fixed on the objective. This simple act of physical defiance in the year 2026 is enough to make the average servant of the machine feel a profound sense of unease. You are signaling that you are not part of the herd, that you are not afraid of the silence, and that you are perfectly comfortable with the consequences of your own existence. This is how you command a room before you even open your mouth to speak. You don't need to bark orders when your presence already dictates the terms of the engagement. Analyze the chemistry of dominant presence with me, because in the year 2026, the machine wants you to be small, physically, mentally, and spiritually. It wants you to apologize for taking up space, to hunch your shoulders over your keyboard, and to minimize your impact on the world. But John Wayne was a man of gargantuan proportions, not just in size, but in the frame he projected. We are decoding the sovereign frame today. Doctor, examine the Duke's personal philosophy on occupying space. He understood that the man who defines the boundaries of the room is the man who owns the room. In the year 2026, the system tries to break your frame through constant interruptions, social shaming, and digital noise. But a man with the gravity is like a massive oak tree in a desert gale. The wind may howl and the sand may blast, but the tree does not bend, and it certainly does not apologize to the wind. There is a specific kind of internal alchemy that happens when you decide, once and for all, that you are the master of your own immediate environment. Your voice deepens, your movements become more economical, and your influence expands effortlessly. The more you embrace your own gravity, the less effort you have to expend to get what you want. People naturally gravitate toward strength, toward stability, and toward the man who looks like he knows exactly where the ground is. In the year 2026, being a stable, heavy, and unmoving presence is the ultimate form of rebellion. You are the fixed point in a world of variables. You are the adult in a room full of panicked children. You are the Duke, standing at the bar, watching the chaos with a cold, amused, and absolute detachment. That is the essence of the presence, being so secure in your own power that the world's attempts to move you become a joke. We are closing this world-stopping, ground-shaking, and strategically heavy 83rd chapter of the Edge Archives with a final proclamation of presence sovereignty. Look at your reflection in the mirror in the year 2026. Do you see a flickering ghost that is ready to vanish at the first sign of trouble? Or do you see a man who has decided to be a permanent and immovable landmark on the frontier? You have adopted the gravity protocol today, and you are starting to realize that your physical presence is the physical manifestation of your internal resolve. John Wayne's final and most enduring lesson for us in this chapter is simple. A man who knows his own weight doesn't need to push anyone else around. The world will move for you if you simply refuse to move for the world. Don't seek the hollow attention of the frantic. Seek the heavy respect of the silent. Square your shoulders, plant your feet firmly into the dusty ground, and slow your world down until it matches the rhythm of your own heartbeat. This is Andrew, signing off from the 83rd vault of the Edge Archives, where we don't seek to be seen, we seek to be felt. The world out there is going to keep rushing, twitching, and fading into digital nothingness, but the sovereign man remains like a mountain peak above the clouds, silent, heavy, and absolutely dominant. Go out there today and reclaim your gravity. Stand still, look them in the eye, occupy your space with iron authority. Stay rugged, stay heavy, stay completely, dangerously sovereign in your presence until the very foundation of the year 2026 feels the weight of your footsteps. Andrew out.